Hello, Kid Code parents. Today, it's my pure pleasure to introduce to you and welcome you, Julie Veresh. She's the founder of Innate Dynamics. She's a fantastic intuitive coach, and she is also a Kid Code teacher. And today we want to talk a little bit about everything every single parent faces, which is power struggles. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Brenda. Isn't that the truth? Power struggles. I know this code well because I have a 16-year-old daughter. And of course, knowing that our children are our mirrors, and when we get triggered, they're really helping to reflect some of our own issues that we need to work through. So I'm very well versed with power struggles, and I want to tell you how valuable you could see by all of the sticky notes, the little tabs here, how well versed I am in making sure that I refer often to the Kid Code manual, because that's exactly what it is. These strategies have been a game changer. And I believe that I've said this before, Kid Code strategies and learning this type of conscious awakening, it's a lifestyle, it's a way of life. And the more that we actually apply it to our own personal lives, the better it seems to flow in all relationships in our lives. But in terms of power struggles, the concept of this particular code is when we take a step back and understand the futility of two people locking horns and going war to war and not backing down, digging our heels in stubbornness, where is that getting us? It's not propelling us forward in any capacity. In fact, it's creating more upset. It's creating more of a struggle. It's creating more angst and a lot more stress. And that's not our true nature. And so I've caught myself in these, in the awareness of these upsets and these battles, even recently. And when you can actually rise above what's going on in that tension and in that dynamic and see this situation is futile, nothing is going to get resolved when two people are trying to go toe to toe and ram each other's belief systems back and forth. It actually is insanity. And I think that you have a really good prop. You do on your visual calls. That would be the cue to put on the dunce cap.
Well, I can show us.
Let's see it.
I don't mind showing us, Julie.
I love it.
If I'm angry, which is I always am in a power struggle, you can be sure that I'm going to think, speak, and act like a dunce. And these strategies are just our way out of that and back to our joyfully harmless nature. So tell me how you use this strategy, power struggles, and what do you see inside you when you use it? And what do you see changes for your kids? What would you tell our audience?
For sure. So when I am aware that a power struggle is occurring, and sometimes I wouldn't be conscious enough to even realize until I'm in the thick of it, and there's elevated voices and we're both trying to get our points of view forward to each other, I recognize that the futility in that moment. And I recognize that I need to take a deep breath. I need to get grounded. It's important that I'm, as the adult, as the leader in this, that I'm grounding myself. And I often, Brenda, give myself a timeout. We talk about timeouts for kids. We're constantly needing to also parent our own inner child. And I understand in that moment, I'm no different. I'm having a temper tantrum, an adult temper tantrum, going toe to toe with my kid, and it's not benefiting anything. So what I tend to do is I take a mommy minute, give myself a timeout, whether that means go for a quick breath of fresh air, have an Epsom salt soak if I have.
Did you say a mommy minute?
A mommy minute. Yeah, you like that.
I love it.
Time out times. And I need to, or else put on my headset and listen to a good tune that will take me out of the charge of that immediate power struggle, because that is, that's where suffering is. And, you know, when I get my cool and I get my, my heart rate de-escalated, that's where I can, I can regroup and I can reapproach the situation with more calmness and more clarity. But the thing is that when you're not actively participating on the battlefield, swords are down. What is the person supposed to do? They're not fighting a ghost, you know? So when they recognize, well, wait a minute, I'm not getting input from this. This isn't getting me what I want. That behavior in the child is also shifting, because that harsh energy is dissipating and it's settling down. And then that's making space for, you know, a calm, collected, regrouped conversation where we can move forward from there. In your book, you reference one of my favorite teachers, Eckhart Tolle, and you have actually referenced a video that I've watched of Eckhart, and it's him observing geese in water. Yeah. And in that moment of stillness and peace, when you're in nature, you can take in the beauty of nature and the moment. And then all of a sudden, some duck or a goose will swim on somebody else's territory. And for a moment, it's going to be a big ruffle of feathers, and it's a whole lot of dynamic and a whole lot of energy, and there's flapping, flapping, flapping. And then in a matter of seconds, that energy has dissipated, it has released, and that charge is gone, and the ducks calmly sail their other way. We need to be more like geese. Because that's exactly, essentially what you're teaching in terms of this code. It's like, okay, well, there's the power. I'm not going to stay in this longer than I need to. When we put our swords down, we take that moment to get grounded, to get recollected, and focus our energy in a more productive way. That's where we can move forward into our true nature, which is feeling calm, which is feeling peace, which is feeling love on the inside. I just really love your whole work is about waking up and conscious connections. But that's so important. It's the body-mind connection and tuning into how we're feeling, because how we're feeling on the inside is creating our reality, right? And
so Julie, yes. Sorry, but I really want to know what do you tell your kids when you're in the midst of a power struggle and you notice you're in it and you need the time out? Or I just was writing about this the other day for one of my blogs. It was a time out, never to show the child they're bad, just time to self-regulate themselves, or a time in where I help them self-regulate. I stay with them and help the self-regulation go on. But I'm really curious, what do you say to your kids when you see you're the one in the power struggle?
Well, that's where I say that I need a mommy minute. And I say, I need a break. I need to step away from this scenario for a moment. And that's not always met positively, to be honest. There's still, because if my child is still in it, I'm still hearing this. That's where my noise canceling headphones come in extremely handy, for real. But I'm going to just shift that to, because I make sure that, because self-care is not self-centered, it's paramount. And it's important that we are giving our own selves that active reset to be able to confront a situation in a different type of energy. But it's interesting in what you're saying in terms of applying it to the child, because I actually just did this the other day with my son. You know, he was having a massive upset, and he was getting pretty emotional, pretty angry, and it was visible. And I actually used that strategy in saying, you know what, I think that you just need a timeout, not because you're a bad person, but because obviously you're pretty upset and your behavior isn't optimal at this moment in time, but that's not you. Okay, so when we can just take that time out to regroup, regain our own calm, our own cool, our own grounding and footing, we can use our words, or we can come together with a fresh perspective and a fresh energy about that scenario. So I do that just for myself as much as I teach my kids to do the same thing.
You know, when I was first writing this book, one of the things that kept coming to me over and over was, why do I want control over someone. It's when I was little, I didn't want people having control over me. Why would I really want control? And I realized it's self-aggrandizement.
Mm.
And also, you know, kids are born, they don't have much power. They know this. And they start to learn that they don't have power. And they take that into their future, where they try to get power all the time over another person, just like we do. But we're beginning to dissolve that idea because the power over them has never worked. It's never given us true peaceful power. You know, I think oftentimes about when I was teaching in South Africa, I went to Robben Island where Nelson Mandela spent his 25 plus years in jail. And I remember walking into that cell, and I remember the tears coming because I realized how peaceful he was. And I realized how powerful that was. I asked every single person through my interpreter in South Africa that I could talk to, why you didn't have a civil war after apartheid. And every single one of them, Julie, said the same thing, because Nelson Mandela told us that if we do, we'll cause more trouble for ourselves. So true power is peaceful, and true peace is powerful. Mm-hmm. I'd like to thank you so much for coming and sharing. And also, I have a challenge for you. So I love your Mummy Minute. Can you come up with a, what are we going to call it when we want the kids to have a self-regulating minute, not because they're bad, but because they just need to regulate back to their nature. That's my challenge to you, okay?
Sure, that sounds good. I'll put thought into that when I'm in stillness.
That's great. Thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you, Brenda. It's a pleasure being a part of your project.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.